conference will now be recorded.
Now, so in the previous session, we have discussed about the fundamental building blocks, and we have discussed the various building blocks that has been given by Apex programming, which can be used to write some small business logics to be used to perform certain operations inside the application we have discussed. So there we have discussed 7 fundamental features given by Apex programming. First one, data types. Second one, variables. Third one, operators. Fourth one, output statements. Fifth one, conditional statements. Sixth one, iterative statements. And the last, arrays. All these 7 fundamental features we have discussed. Now today we'll see the object-oriented programming. That means an extension for the procedure-oriented programming. Then what exactly is object-oriented programming, and what are the various principles that we have in object-oriented programming? And in this feature, what do you mean by the word object, and what an object contains, and what a class contains? So what is the relation between a class and an object, and how to define class, how to define members inside the class, how to access them through with the help of an object? We'll see practically one by one. Now, let's see. So that already we have discussed in our starting classes of Apex programming. In IT industry, whatever the programming languages that we have, these programming languages has been divided into 4 categories. Okay. So whatever the programming languages we have in IT industry, all those programming languages has been divided into 4 categories. First one, procedure-oriented programming languages. Second one, object-oriented programming. Third one, component-oriented programming. And the last one, message-oriented or service-oriented programming languages. These are 4 types of programming approaches. Now, so there we have identified in procedure-oriented programming. In procedure-oriented programming, whenever we are implementing the business logic, each business logic should be implemented in the form of procedures and functions. Each business logic should be implemented in the form of procedures and the functions. That means whatever the business logic we are implementing to perform certain operation, that whole business logic we are dividing into various small pieces, that each piece is called as a procedure or a function. So each procedure or each function contains some set of statements. It may be 1 line of code, 10 lines of code, 100 lines of code, 1000 lines of code. It purely depends upon the complexity of the requirement. If the requirement is very simple, it will have 1 line of code. If it is moderate, some 10 lines. If it is complex, it will be having hundreds of lines of code also. So whatever the business logic we are implementing, that whole business logic are dividing into various small pieces, that each piece is called as a procedure or a function, where each procedure or each function contains a group of statements. It may be one, it may be multiple, depends upon the complexity of the requirement. So by using those statements, we can perform certain operations. Now, but the problem in procedure-oriented programming is whatever the business logic we have written by using procedure-oriented programming, it won't provide much security for your code. That means there is no proper code security. There is no security for your code. So whatever the business logic we have implemented, that business logic is not secured. That business logic will be visible to all the people available in the application. Now, we can't restrict that. Like suppose, for example, in Salesforce, whenever I'm creating a new record inside the object, I would like to make my record to be visible only to certain people. My record should be visible only to me and my manager, not the other people. To restrict the visibility of that records, we have used the help of OWD options. Through OWD, we are indicating level of access up to what level my class, my record can be visible. Like the similar fashion, whenever we are preparing a procedure or a function, I want to define the level of access that this particular procedure can be accessible only by this group of people. This function can be accessible only by this group of people, like I would like to distribute. I would like to restrict the visibility, but we don't have those options. So procedure-oriented programming is not having such kind of capabilities to restrict the visibility of the members, to restrict the visibility of the procedures and the functions. So the code is not having proper security. The code will be visible to all the people because the code is moving around the application. So now to avoid this kind of problems, to make your code more secured, they have introduced one more programming approach, object-oriented programming system. Simply, we are calling it as OOPS concept, object-oriented programming system. So as part of object-oriented programming system, whenever we are implementing the business logic, all the business logic will be dividing into various small reusable units. Those are called as classes. Classes and objects. So, in object-oriented programming language, each business logic should be implemented in the form of small reusable units that is called as classes and objects. Now, as part of these classes and objects, these are completely secured. These are providing more security for your code. Once you are writing certain business logic inside this particular class, then we can define the level of access also, up to what level this particular business logic can be accessible. This class can be accessible by whom that we can decide. That flexibility is available, that restrictions are available, so we can make our code more secured. Now, in this case here, as part of this object-oriented programming, whole business logic will be implementing in the form of classes and objects, where each class will be holding some set of business logic to be get perform certain operation. In the two, classes are purely reusable components. These are not self-executable. They can't execute by their own. These are reusable. Just we need to prepare them and we can reuse them in different places wherever you want, whenever you want. So depends upon your requirement, we can make it accessible in different places also. The flexibility is available as part of your classes. Now, in this case, first of all, we have to understand what do you mean by a class? What do you mean by an object? Okay, now let's see one by one. So in my previous session also I told you as part of object-oriented programming, so many programming languages are available which are comes under this category. Like we have Smalltalk. Smalltalk is the world's first object-oriented programming language. And then we have C++ also, VC++ also, Java also, C Sharp.NET, VB.NET, Python, our Apex programming. These are all are comes under object-oriented programming languages, which are purely supporting that object-oriented programming principles. And especially we are talking about Apex programming. Apex purely supports object-oriented programming principles. So each business logic should be implemented in Apex programming in the form of classes and objects. Then how can we write these business logics in the form of classes and how can we access them through objects? Now let's see. Now here I can raise a question. So since almost some 14 to 15 days, we are using Apex programming language. We have written so many business logics till now by using variables, conditional statements, iterative statements, everything. But that code where we have written in execute anonymous window. What is the functionality of execute anonymous window? Once the code has been written in the execute anonymous window, the code will be compiled, it will execute, it will show the result. But that code will not be saving anywhere inside your Salesforce arc. That means we can't make that code more reusable. There is no reusability. Once the code has been executed, once you close that execute anonymous window, once you sign it from your Salesforce R, automatically that whole code will be lost. You can't get that code back again. But now, not only writing the code once, not only using the code once, I want to write the code once, I want to make it reusable in different places whenever I want, wherever I want. So I want to make my code to be get reusable. I want to save my code inside the metadata repository. If you want to save your class inside the metadata repository, then write that code inside the class. That already told you once the class code has been getting compiled, the compiled classes code will store into metadata repository. Along with that, a copy of the class code will store into Apex class object also. So to make your class code more reusable, write the business logic inside this class. Don't write in execute anonymous window. Execute anonymous window is only to write and to execute the code once. For the testing purpose here, Salesforce has given that execute anonymous window. Okay, now in this case here, if you want to make your code reusable, then we have to go with classes. Then how can we make my code more reusable? Now let's see one by one. So first of all, we have to understand what exactly a class and an object, what is the relation between these two, we'll see one by one. Okay, now. So let's start with object first. So what exactly an object, what it contains, we'll see first. Objects. So what do you mean by objects? Don't go with configuration part. Okay. Configuration part objects are different. Here these objects are different.
Objects are real-time entities.
Hmm.
Is a physically have
A,
some
an object
functionalities.
is an instance of
Hmm.
a class by using which we can store data into the class variables.
Okay. Hmm. What do you mean by this object?
It is a means of access for
Hmm.
the class.
Is it a physical entity or logical entity?
Logical.
Logical entity, not physical entity. Hmm. Now,
It is like a key to the class.
right. So what exactly an object here in general? In general, we can say whatever the things available in the real world, everything is nothing but an object. So whatever the things that we have in the real world, everything is nothing but an object. Like for example, we have a laptop, it's an object. Mobile, it's an object. Table, it's an object. Chair, it's an object. Fan, it's an object. Light, it's an object. Whiteboard, it's an object. AC, it's an object. Including myself as a person, I'm also an object. Everything is nothing but an object, including book also, pen also, and then chair also. Anything, whatever it might be, whatever we have in the real world, each and everything is nothing but an object. Okay, now, so now in this case here, for example, in my room, in front of me, we have a fan. So the fan which I'm looking at right now, it's an object. Okay, the fan which I'm looking at right now, it's an object. Now tell me, this is the only fan that we have in the entire world? No, we have so many fans are available with different types, with different colors, with different features, with different manufacturers, with different prices. So many fans are available. Now, like as we are having ceiling fans are available, stand fans are available, wall fans are available, table fans are available. So many types of fans are available from different manufacturers with different colors, with different features, with different prices. Now, in this case, so now in front of me, I have a fan. So the fan which I'm looking at right now, it's an object. But this is not only the fan that we have. So now whatever the fans are available inside that entire world, all the fans are belongs to fan class. All the fans are belongs to the fan class. Basically, fan is a class which is indicating a group of properties that each fan can hold. What kind of properties, what kind of features that fan can hold, that will be indicating by the fan class. Okay, now, so whatever the fans that we have in the real world, all the fans are belongs to the fan class. Okay, here we are having a group of properties which will be indicating by a fan class, which will be indicating each and every fan should have these properties. Okay, now, so now in this case, let's see here, for example, come to a small scenario. Assume that, assume that myself, I am an object. So now as an object, I'm having so many properties. Like I have my name, my age, my gender, my date of birth, my qualification, my salary, my contact number, email ID, address, everything. I'm an object, I'm holding all my properties. She is also an object. She is having her name, her qualification, date of birth, gender, email ID, phone number, address, everything. He is an object. He is also having his own properties. He is having his name, his age, date of birth, gender, qualification, email ID, phone number, like that, like that. Everybody will be having their own properties. Now, in this case, I'm an object. She is also an object. She is also an object. He is also an object. All are objects. But we all are belongs to what? Human beings. We all are belongs to human beings. So human being is a class from which we all have been derived. So of course we are having different values. Our names may be different, age may be different, phone number may be different, gender may be different, but we all are belongs to human being class. Human being is a class where every human being should have certain properties that has been defined inside the human being class. From there we are deriving all those things. Okay, now, so now in this case, let's see. Let me come to a small scenario so that you can understand. For example, for example, God has introduced the human beings onto the earth. God has introduced the human beings onto the earth. Upon introducing the human beings onto the earth, he has defined some set of properties. So he has defined the human being class. In that human being class, he has given some set of properties that every human being should have. We are having human being class. Now, upon introducing the human beings onto the earth, he has defined some set of properties. Like every human being should have the name, age, gender, date of birth, for example, birth date, qualification, and then I would like to specify salary, email address, phone number, location, like that. He has defined some set of properties. So God has introduced the human beings onto the earth. Upon introducing the human beings onto the earth, he has defined some set of properties that every human being should have. Okay, now let's see. Now, for example, today a new baby has been born. Okay, today a new baby has been born. Now it may be a baby boy or baby girl, whatever it is, anything here. So now a new baby has been born. Now, even though a new baby has been born, that baby is also one of the human being, right? Yes. As a human being, the baby also having same properties. As a human being, that baby also having same properties. Now, for that baby, parents has given the name as, for example, Pravina. Okay, Pravina P. So the parents has given the name as okay Praveena P. Now what is the name of this baby here? Praveena. What is the age? 1 day, because today only the baby has been born. Gender is what? Female. Now date of birth 27, okay, December 2025. Qualification not applicable. Salary not applicable. Email ID not available. Phone number not available. Location is from Hyderabad. So the baby belongs to a parent, okay, who is from Hyderabad location. So we are giving this details over here. So now she is also one of the human beings. She is also a human being. Now, like the similar passion, 20 years back, a person has born. Okay, 20 years back, a person has born. His name is some Sandeep Kumar. 20 years back, a person has born. His name is some Sandeep Kumar. He is also one of the human being, right? Yes. He is also having that same properties. Now his name is some Sandeep Kumar. Now, so what is the name of this person here? Sandeep Kumar. Age is what? Some 20 years. Gender, some male. Birth date, I'm giving like some April 15, 2005. Qualification, some BTech. Salary, 20,000. Email ID, Sandeep, for example, Sandy at some gmail.com. I'm giving the email ID. Phone number, I'm having somewhere. Location, some Bangalore. Now, so now this person also one of the human being is referencing to that okay, same class. Okay, now like that, how many human beings are available? So many human beings are available. So now the human being class is what? Only one. But these are all our objects are multiple. Praveena is one object, and then Sandeep Kumar is another object, Ramesh Kumar another object, Pavan Kumar another object. Like that, we are having multiple also. Now, in this case here, how can we define? So now human being is a class, so which contains a group of members. A group of members are available inside the class. Those members includes variables also, procedures also, functions also, properties also, constructors also. All these things we can mix together. So a class is nothing but a logical entity which contains a collection of members, which contains a group of members, so which can be used to implement your own business logics. Those members includes variables, procedures, functions, properties, constructors, all these things mixed together, which can be used to okay build the business logics. Now, in this case, we are going to be having a class. Class contains a group of members which can be used to implement the business logics. Now, so once the class has been getting defined, for this class, we can able to have how many objects over here? Only one or multiple? Multiple. Now, then what do you mean by an object here? Now let's see. So once a members has been defined inside the class, if we want to access these members, then we need the help of a reference or we need the help of a key, we need the help of an instance that is called as object. So now Praveena is nothing but one object. And the Sandeep is nothing but object. These are all our objects of this class. So now in this case, what an object will do, object will go to the class, it will collect that particular members. For those members, it is going to be assigning some values. So if we want to access the class members, we need a reference, we need a key, we need an instance that is called as object. So without the object, we can't enter into the class. Without the object, we can't access the members, we can't assign the values for the members, we can't retrieve the values from the members also. So in this case, in order to access this class members, to assign some values, to retrieve the values, we need a reference that is called as object. Now, So now in this case here, let's see. So now for this particular class, how many objects are available? This is one object, this is second object, like that multiple objects also we can create up to n number of. Each object will hold different set of values. Here we are having a different set of values. Here we are having different set of values, but the members are same. Same members are available, but the values for the members are different from object to object. So what is the use of object? Objects are used to hold the values for the class members. Inside the class, whatever the members are defined, for those members, if you want to assign some values, if you want to retrieve the values, then we require objects. Okay, now in this case, let's see, for example, let me give you one more small scenario. Now, suppose, for example, assume that I'm having some valuable items with me, like some property documents, some jewelry, some money, some gold available with me. Now, in my home, I have small kits are available. I need to protect this property documents, jewelry, money, gold from these small kits. So what we can do, we can place all these items inside a cupboard, we can make a lock on that. Because I'm not placing into a locker, we don't have those many number of items, very few items are there. So we no need to take a locker. So now these are small items we can place into our home because we are regularly using those items. Now, during vacations or functions also, we are using this item so that we are placing into the cupboard, we are making the lock on that. So in this case here, whenever we are going to be using this properties or placing inside a cupboard, we can make a lock on that, which is going to providing the safety for your items. So other people inside your family, they can't use those items. Like the similar fashion, class also same. Class also like as a locked cupboard. Class also like as a locked cupboard which contains some set of items inside that. What are those items? Variables, procedures, functions, properties, constructors. Like whatever the way we are placing our valuable items inside the cupboard, like as property documents, jewelry, money, gold, all these things, like the similar fashion as part of my application, we are going to be writing certain business logics in the form of variables, procedures, functions, properties, constructors, all these things I'm placing into a class, I'm making a lock on that here. So a class is like as a locked cupboard, which will be having a group of members inside this, which can be reusable whenever you want, wherever you want. Now, so now tell me in this case here. In my home, we are having some valuable properties. We have placed into the locker. We have placed into a cupboard. We need a lock on that. Today, one of my family member wants to use that item because they want to attend a marriage function. They want to use this item here. Then how these people can take these items?
They
First of
need
all, they have to
permission.
unlock the cupboard, right? Now,
Yes.
in order to unlock the cupboard, they need the key, right? Based on the key, we can unlock that cupboard. They can use items whatever they want. Like the similar fashion, once a class has been defined with the required members, if we want to access any one of that class member, we need a key. We need a reference. We need an instance that is called as object. So through the object, we can unlock the class, we can enter into the class, we can access each and every member, and for that member, we can assign some values and we can retrieve the values also. So in order to access the class members, we need a reference that is also called as object. Now tell me for one cupboard, how many keys we can have? Only one or multiple? Multiple also. I'm having one key and then my parents are also having one more key also here. When you go to locker also, whenever you are taking a locker, there will be two keys will be available. One key they will provide to you, one key will be available in the bank people. Okay, two keys will be available here. If you want to unlock that locker, we have to place both the keys, then only it will be getting unlocked. Okay, now, like the similar fashion here also, for one class, we can able to have multiple objects also. Okay, not only one, multiple objects. So in this case, class contains a group of members which can be used to implement the business logics. Once the members has been defined inside the class, then in order to access these members, we need a reference, we need a key that is called as object. So for one class, we can have multiple objects also. Each object can hold different set of values for your class members. Understood the concept here? Now tell me in this case. Now tell me in this case, whenever we are having class and objects, memory will be reserving for what? For class or for object? Object. Why? Why memory is allocating for object? Why not for class?
Because by using object, values are assigned.
Right. Generally, memory is for what? To store some values. Where we are storing the values in object level here. So, memory will be always reserving for objects, not for the classes. Because class will be holding only the members, the actual values are available inside this object level. So, to hold these values, it requires memory location. So, the memory will be always reserving for objects. Now tell me in this case, will Salesforce will allocate same memory for both the objects or different memory for each and every object? Class is same. Hmm.
Different
Class
object,
is
different
same.
memory.
Two objects are available. Is the memory will be allocating for both the objects separately or the memory is common for both the objects?
Common for
Hmm.
both the objects.
Is it same memory or different memory? Why different
Same,
memory? Why all are not same? Right, exactly.
some
That
some
means
field value.
what? Yesterday I showed you. Yesterday we have discussed a concept called as arrays. So once a variable has been defined, in that variable we can store one value. After some time, if I'm assigning a new value, then what will happen? Previous value will be lost, new value will replace that old value automatically. So it will hold only one value. But here I'm having two objects are there which are having two different set of values. So to hold this two different set of values, for each object, Salesforce is allocating separate memory. Object 1 will have its own memory, object 2 will have its own memory. Because in this first memory it will store Praveena's record details, and in this second object it is holding Sandeep Kumar's details. Because the values are different, so that it will be holding different amount of memory here. Clear? So every object contains its own memory location. Now tell me, is the memory size will be same for both the objects or different?
Same.
Different or same? Why different? Why not same? Because both the objects are belongs to same class. Why it is
But
allocating different amount of memory space for both the objects?
because some of the members'
Hmm.
values are not
Why it
assigned
is
in
not
one of
fixed size?
some some fields
Why? Why? Ah, right. Exactly
are not.
correct. Now in this case here, now observe this one. When you go to the object one, how many values we have stored? Name, age, gender, birth date, location. How many values? Five. Here, how many values? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. So here we have nine values here. So in this case here, to store this of five values, whatever the memory space is required, that much of memory space will be getting reserved. To store this nine values, whatever the memory space is required, that memory space will be getting reserved. That means each object will be holding its own memory, each object will hold its own amount of memory also. Because objects are holding different set of data, so in this case, it depends upon the values you are going to store, memory will be calculating dynamically at runtime. That means objects are purely supporting dynamic memory allocation. These are not like as arrays, because arrays are fixed size collection. Arrays will have fixed size, because of that it will be causing some memory wastage. But as part of objects, objects are purely supporting dynamic memory allocation, depends upon the number of values you are going to store, depends upon the type of the values you are going to store on the spot in real time, it will calculate the memory, that much of memory will be getting reserved. Okay, so objects will be holding its own memory, its own amount of memory also. Okay, understood the concept over here? Understood the relation between a class and an object? Now, classes are used to implement the business logics, and then these particular objects are used to access the class members. We can assign some values, we can retrieve the values also. Okay, clear up to this concept now? Next. Now, As part of this Apex programming, each business logic should be implemented in the form of classes and objects. Okay, now, whenever we are implementing the business logics by using object-oriented programming, we have to follow certain principles. Okay, we have to follow certain principles. Those are called as object-oriented programming principles. In object-oriented programming, there are four principles are available. There are four principles. First one, encapsulation. First one, encapsulation. Second one, abstraction. Second one, abstraction. Third one, inheritance. Third one, inheritance. And the fourth one, polymorphism. Fourth one, polymorphism. These are the four types of principles are available. These are the four principles of object-oriented programming. These are also called as pillars of object-oriented programming on which the object-oriented programming has been built upon. Okay, now, so you can take any object-oriented programming language available in IT industry. All the object-oriented programming languages should support these four principles, must ensure. Okay, like we have encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and the polymorphism. Then what exactly this each option we'll see one by one in detail. Okay, now make a note of these points. While implementing the business logics by using procedure-oriented programming, we have to use the help of procedures and functions. We have to use the help of procedures and functions. While writing the business logic, in procedure-oriented programming, it won't provide much security for the code. It won't provide much security for the code. That is, we can't restrict the visibility of the features inside the application. Now, to make the code more secured, we have to use the help of object-oriented programming languages. Object-oriented programming languages. Apex is a cloud-based object-oriented programming language where each business logic should be implemented in the form of classes and objects. Each business logic should be implemented in the form of classes and objects. Class. A class is nothing but a logical entity which contains a collection of members inside it. Now, a class is nothing but a blueprint or a prototype which contains a collection of variables, procedures, functions, properties, and constructors inside it. Classes are used to implement the business logics which can be used to perform certain operations inside the application. Classes are reusable component which can be which can be developed once and reused in different places of the application development. Hence, the classes are also called as controller classes or simply controllers. Next, object. Done with this? Now, object. Once the class has been defined with the required members, then we can access the class members by using the help of objects. An object is nothing but an object is nothing but a reference or an instance to the class which can be used to access the class members, and we can assign the values for the members, and we can retrieve the values from the class members. A class can have one or more objects. Each object can hold a different set of values inside it. Always, memory will get reserved for the objects, not for the classes. Each object contains its own memory and its own amount of memory. Each object contains its own memory and its own amount of memory. Objects are purely supporting dynamic memory allocation. Dynamic memory allocation, hence, we can avoid stage and we can utilize the memory very efficiently. Done with this? Now, let's see. Object-oriented programming principles. Now, Apex purely supports all the object-oriented programming principles, all the principles of object-oriented programming. Now, we have the below four principles, which has to be keep in mind while building the business logic. First one, encapsulation. Second one, abstraction. Third one, inheritance. Fourth one, polymorphism. First one, encapsulation. Second one, abstraction. Third one, inheritance. Fourth one, polymorphism. These are the four principles are available as part of this object-oriented programming. Then what exactly this principle, each principle indicates, we'll see in the next session. It's a bit lengthy feature here. It will take more than 40 minutes. So in the next session, we'll see these principles in detail. And then I will come to the concept of class. How to define a class, what is the syntax we used to follow, what is an access specifier, what access specifiers are available, what is the significance of each access specifier, we'll see one by one. Then once the classes are over, then we'll see how to create object, how to access the members, we'll see one by one here. Okay, now once that is done, then we'll enter into ORM concept. There we'll see how to create the records in Salesforce objects through programming. I want to insert the records. It may be single record, it may be multiple records, it may be related records also, which are having some relation. It may be lookup, master detail, hierarchical, anything, whatever, how to do that, we'll see with the practical as well. Okay, now, so the next session will be on Monday again. Tomorrow we don't have the session, tomorrow will be the Sunday. Next session will be on Monday, it's same time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Firoz.
Thank you all.